We are joined on the phone today by singer-songwriter Steve Almaas. You might remember him from the group the Suicide Commandos from Minneapolis back in the day. Also was a member of the band Beat Rodeo. Right now, we're talking about a new solo album he's got coming out, Everywhere You've Been. Hey, Steve, how you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Is this still a good time to ask you a few questions?
It's an excellent time. Are you calling from Mankato?
I am calling from Mankato. Have you spent much time here?
Well, all right. I have not spent a lot of time in Mankato, but I've certainly been through there, in going between here and there. I've played in Mankato, but I can't say I've spent a lot of time, but I think of Mankato fondly, yes.
Excellent. Well, I know there's a lot of fans of yours here as well, so I'm glad to be speaking with you today. Thanks again for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, Steve, I know you've got a new solo album coming out here, Everywhere You've Been. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new album?
Well, I'm looking at it as a bit of a, culmination of everything I've done over the years. I've sort of packed whatever I've learned along the way into the sound of this record, and I think it came out that way.
And I know you can get it now for digital download and then physical copies coming out on CD and vinyl on May 7th, I believe.
Yes. There's a bit of a international shipping snafu going on. It actually may have something to do with Brexit as well. I'm not sure exactly what, but I do know there are like 300 cargo ships parked off the docks in L.A. and they can't come in. And something along those lines is holding up the physical copies coming over here because, the CDs and vinyl are available in Europe, but not yet in the States.
Well, it's interesting. As you know from back in the day, the physical copies, especially, the 7 inches and all that, were very important. And now it's kind of coming back around that way again. Everyone's looking for vinyl these days.
Well, I was very excited when I got the test pressing of the vinyl for this record because it was something that, over the years, I've had a lot of albums come out on CD, and in my mind, there was always a side A and a side B. It's just the way I thought about albums. But, they don't really work that way on CDs, and when I got the test pressing of this one and put side 2 on, and the first song, was the 7th song on the album. It was a really good feeling. Yeah, it's just a certain way to organize the music, a way that I'm rather fond of.
Well, Steve, I know you've got a lot of great people in the studio with you for this one. Can you tell us a bit about who's playing with you on the new album?
Yeah, I got some heavy hitters in there. I got Kenny Vaughn from Marty Stewart and the Fabulous Superlatives. In my opinion, the best country band in America right now. Kenny plays guitar on 2 tracks. Tony Garnier, who's Bob Dylan's musical director, plays stand-up bass on 3 songs. I've got John Graboff, plays with Iris Dement, and he was in the Cardinals with Ryan Adams. Just a lot of good people. How can I forget Gary Lewis from the Jayhawks was kind enough to come in and sing a duet with me on one of the tunes as well, a song called Goodbye Nicolina.
Excellent. Well, Steve, I was reading you were on an airplane kind of dozing off a little bit, and that's kind of where the idea for the album came up, or from the lyrics. Is that usually how things work for you when you're writing songs?
No, really not the way that usually. I had the peculiar experience where I wrote the full lyrics to 2 songs on a plane ride from New York back to Minneapolis. I was coming back to Minneapolis to play a show with the Suicide Commandos, and I got on the plane and had the odd occurrence these days. It hadn't happened in years where I got to my seat and I had the whole row to myself. And I laid down and I fell asleep after we took off, and I woke up and I just had these lyrics in my head, and I had like an iPad there, and I sort of sat up and I wrote out this set of lyrics. When I got done, I laid back down and went back to sleep. And I woke up a while later, and there was another one. And I just wrote that down too. The first one was a song called "Cigarettes, Coffee, or You," and the second one was "The One Thing I Cannot Do." And yeah, the lyrics just came full on. Two of them in a 3-hour plane ride from New York to Minneapolis. It does not happen that way often.
Yeah, if only all the songs came to you that easy, that'd be something.
That would be something.
Well, I've seen a couple other songs you call the Quarantine Collection on your YouTube page. Have you been kind of stockpiling songs over the last year? I know a lot of people have obviously had a lot of time to work on things.
Well, yeah, definitely when we were, I was very fortunate when this happened. I have a little cottage up in the Catskill Mountains, a couple hours north of New York, and I was able to retreat there and stay out of harm's way. But yeah, I sent out a few missives on the YouTube with a few songs, yeah, just to, stay in contact with people, I guess.
Sure. Well, again, the new album, Everywhere You've Been, is out here, and you mentioned the Suicide Commandos. I know you were back with them with a new album a few years ago, Time Bomb. Is there anything happening maybe from the Commandos in the near future? Is that something you're working on too?
We had an offer. We had an offer to do a really good show in Minnesota in June, but my schedule out here did not permit that. But I'm hoping something will happen in Minnesota with the Commandos this summer. Yes, I know. Chris Osgood will be keeping an eagle eye out, for something good for us to do, and I really look forward to. I really look forward to playing this new album live for people and to doing some shows with the Suicide Commandos both. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I know it's been a while, but can you talk a bit about the music scene in Minneapolis around that time? And I mean, you guys were really laying the groundwork for a lot of the bands who came from here a few years after you guys. Yeah,
it was a glorious time. I mean, the Suicide Commandos got together in the fall of 1975, and we just, for whatever reason, the combination of the three of us gave us this idea to just do what we wanted to do. And we started out learning 4 sets of material to play in bars, which is what you needed to do then. You had to play 4 45-minute sets. So that was a lot of songs. And for whatever reason, the songs we decided to do were not the songs most bands were deciding to do. And we made friends with other musicians in Minneapolis that were kind of just excited about what we were doing. And that kind of evolved into Chris Osgood, the guitar player, was already writing songs when the band started. And I was very impressed and inspired by that and started trying to write them too. And, before we knew it, we were, injecting a lot of our own material into the sets, and that kind of helped change the bar scene a little bit, that you could actually play in Minneapolis and play original music. And, I think we were a good catalyst for making that happen.
Definitely. And I know you eventually moved on to New York, but what did you think of the bands, who were coming after you guys? Like, obviously the Replacements, the Suburbs, a lot of bands that kind of started to get national attention when you were out in New York. Were you paying attention to that? Or?
The Suburbs, 2 of the members of the Suburbs, Bruce Allen and Mike Halliday, were my friends from a very young age. So they were actually, the Suburbs came together because Chan and Beej were friends with Chris and Dave, and Bruce Allen and Mike Halliday were friends with me, and we kind of put them together, introduced them all, and then all hell broke loose after that. They did a good job.
Well, Steve, I know you mentioned hopefully getting on the road, maybe doing the solo stuff and with the Commandos. Will you think you'll do one after the other, or maybe both at the same time? Or I don't know what to expect here as far as things opening up. But...
Yeah, it's hard to say what we can do. That I mean, when the Commandos get together, it's usually for just like one or two good shows, but we have to get together and rehearse and really spend some time with each other to get it up to snuff. So I could see that happening this summer if everything keeps moving in the direction it seems to be moving.
Awesome. Well, again, the new album, Everywhere You've Been, is out. Is there anything else maybe you're working on that we should watch out for?
Well, the Commandos played, the last time the Commandos played together, we had a very special guest star, Pat Hayes from the Lamont Cranston Band, and we've been trying. I am hoping there will be a Pat Hayes Suicide Commandos collaboration down the road, and I'm just always have the antennas out to keep writing songs for myself, and as soon as I have enough for another album, I'll try to make one. And that's about as far as I planned. The listeners, if they want to find me, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, both a good place. That's ALMAAS. It's a hard last name to spell, but if anybody wants to come find me and, needs any information about getting the album or anything, you can find me there.
Awesome. Steve, again, thank you so much for your time. I'm definitely digging the new album, and I'm a fan of yours for sure, and I hope I can see you coming up here maybe later this year.
Well, please come and say hello if we manage to get in the same room at the same time. And, yeah, thank you for having me. Take care.
And again, that was Steve Almaas, and his new album, Everywhere You've Been, is available now.